Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you leave a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. This is another war video, and we're back for war number 5. Today our team is going to be Kushala, it's going to be Hood, and it's going to be Quicksilver. We're actually assigned 5 fights this war, but we were only able to get done 4 of them because one of our alliance mates actually took one of the fights. So our first fight is going to be on the Rich Get Richer node, where Hood is going to be taking on Karolina. So our objective here in this fight is just to get some SP2s off and see how many that we can get off without pushing her to an SP3. So we threw our first SP2. We're going to go ahead and bait our SP1 here. And then we get our Mystic Dispersion and we automatically end up at an SP3. So goal here, like I said, is just to get back to the SP2. We're going to try to bait out her SP2 real quick. She's going to go unstoppable. She's going to get some buffs, so she's going to go on an incredible power gain. And then we end up at an SP3 again due to Mystic Dispersion. We're 5 out of 5 there, so we're just simply just gaining power. She almost ends up at an SP3 there. She's going to throw her SP2. And then we're going to finally get to an SP2 ourselves. And the goal, hopefully, is not to push her to an SP3. We don't. We're going to bait out another SP2 of hers. And then we get to our SP3 of ours. So we're going to go ahead and try and bait out one more SP2 of hers. And let's see if we can get this fight over with. Then we're going to go ahead and try and get that fight about done. So that is the end of fight number 1 with Hood versus Karolina. We give up no deaths. We're going to move on to fight number 2, where Quicksilver is going to be taking on Mojo. Goal and objective here is just to keep him at an SP1, avoid the unstoppable, and avoid the falter. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I do have a skill issue when it comes to Quicksilver. I'm just not good with him. I don't know what it is, but seems like I can never get off his SP1 and SP2 properly, where the timing of it is just off to me. So Quicksilver takes a lot of extra, I guess, special skills to understand his timing of his SP1 and his SP2. As you can see right there, my SP1 gets blocked, right? I thought I hit him with a light and a medium, and then I thought throwing my SP1 would work, but it actually didn't there. So, you know, again, just try and keep him at an SP1, keep him throwing those till we get to the end of the fight here. And then we're going to try and roll into our SP2. And we actually end up getting an SP2 off, which was really, really good. It helped us get his health down by 30%. So now he's down to 70% health. And there's prompts on Mojo that you should follow. I just don't, especially if I am using Quicksilver. If I was using Spider-Woman, I could probably follow the prompts maybe a little bit better. But with Quicksilver, I'm just not super good with him, so I try to do the best I can. And so we're going to try and bait out his SP1 again. He's already down to like 40% health. We're going to back off to make sure he doesn't get that unstoppable. And then you also have to watch for the falter in this fight, so you got to be careful. We're supposed to hold block here. We're going to try and hit him with an SP2 and try to end the fight. But as always, there is a skill issue here. So watch what happens when I try to hit him with an SP2 here. And he blocks it again. So as you guys can see, me versus Mojo doesn't work very good. So fight's pretty much over. I'm just going to keep trying to avoid his SP1. He actually ends up catching me. I'm going to throw my SP1. He's down to 7%. We're going to parry here. And then we're just going to hit him with some light medium combos. He's down to 1%. And we're going to try to get this fight over with. We're probably going to KO him here. Yep, and he dies, and we're good. Our next fight is going to be Kushala versus Deathless Thanos on node 49, I believe. 48. This is 48. Yep, so I actually mess up in this fight a little bit. But I wanted to get him to an SP1, or I wanted to try and keep him at that. But with Kushala, you don't really gain a bunch of power fast here. So I get degened immediately. I throw my SP1, but he doesn't get a lot of incinerates on him. But now I'm gaining power at least a decent rate here. And with Deathless Thanos on this node, you just kind of want to take your time. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just going to try and keep him at an SP1. But I do push him a couple times. You see he gets that unstoppable there. But I wanted to try and keep the incinerates on him. Just because I want to keep my power going. But I almost let my incinerates fall off. I throw an SP2, but he doesn't have any of the things on him. So it's not going to be a passive, which is fine too. I take a little bit of block damage there because you can't parry here either. So that's the other thing you got to be careful of, is parrying them. And then we're going to go back in, try and hit him with another SP2 here. And let's just try and get him melting a little bit while we're gaining our power. And we're going to give him one more SP2. All right, so we're just melting him down a little bit. Let's go ahead, throw an SP1 here. All right, and this fight's just about done, but I do take quite a little bit of a damage here. Just from the degens and just taking block damage from Deathless Thanos over time. But we end up with no deaths here, so that was really, really good. And then we have our last fight, which we're going to have Kushala versus, I forget the girl's name, but the boss. Imperiosa, sorry. Imperiosa is her name. So goal is to just not push her to an SP3. And this is boss 50. This is node 50. This is the boss node. So we're going to try and not push her to an SP3 here. So we're going to hit her with an SP2. We end up getting a passive soul bard on her, which was really, really good. Now I'm going to try and get an SP1 incinerate on her. But boom, I get hit right in the face. And just like that, I'm in trouble. But we end up getting a passive incinerate on her as well. So we're just kind of baiting out her power bar here to try and bring it down some. We're going to throw another SP1. And as you can see, she's just kind of melting. We got 10 incinerates on her. So this fight is pretty much under control. But like I said, I do get smacked in the face here a couple times for whatever reason or another. And that block damage is just terrible. And we're just going to try and bait out her power here. And boom, I take more block damage. All right, I'm in a corner, so I had to back out. And then my incinerates don't take. Then I get hit again. And now I'm in some big trouble because I'm taking a lot of block damage. I'm just going to try and get myself up out of that corner. And we end up getting ourselves out of the corner. We get a soul bard. It's not passive, but it is a debuff on her. And we're going to try and hit her again with another one, while keeping her power under control. We're just kind of watching for it here. All right, and then we're going to hit her with an SP1, put some incinerates on her. All righty. We're just going to back up a little bit, try and see if we can get her to melt down some more of that power. We're going to throw our relic here. And then we're going to throw an SP2. And this fight is pretty much over. So listen, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you like this video, and I'll catch you in the next.